Darkness doesn't just knock on your door. Sometimes it lives right behind the most dazzling smile and the most captivating eyes in the world, and that is exactly the untold, hidden truth about Angelina Jolie that almost no one ever talks about, a reality that if you grasp it right this second, will instantly shatter and rewrite everything you thought you knew about your own hardships, the blows life has dealt you, and the moments you felt completely broken. Most people look at someone like Angelina Jolie, a woman whose name is universally synonymous with staggering wealth, international fame, timeless beauty, and absolute power, and they assume her life has been an effortless fairy tale, completely untouched by absolute ruin, crippling loneliness, and devastating despair. But the raw, unvarnished truth is that she clawed her way up from the absolute pitch-black depths of depression and psychological collapse, dragging herself out of the mud when everything inside her was screaming to give up. The real question that should keep you awake at night is this: how does a human being whose life has repeatedly hovered on the absolute precipice of total annihilation not only refuse to surrender, but actively take every single shattered fragment of her soul and forge them into an indestructible weapon of unstoppable power? This is the exact psychological formula of supreme resilience and antifragility that I am going to unlock for you in this video today, a precise blueprint designed to teach you how to rise like a phoenix the exact moment the ground beneath your feet vanishes into thin air. So stay locked in until the final second, because your entire perspective on pain, trauma, and failure is about to be completely vaporized, paving the way for a much harder, sharper, and utterly unstoppable version of yourself to be born. Let's rewind the tape and travel back to an era when absolutely no one had any faith or expectations for that rebellious, outcast teenage girl in Hollywood, a young woman who was frantically screaming to be seen, hiding her inner turmoil behind layers of black clothing, the raw physical scars on her skin, and a disturbing collection of razor blades she used as physical anchors for her emotional pain. Society loves to rewrite history and pretend that icons were born with platinum spoons in their mouths, gliding through life on velvet pathways, but the truth is that Angelina was forged in the agonizing fires of a broken home, bitter parental divorce, profound feelings of abandonment, and a relentless civil war raging inside her own mind. By the time she stepped into early adulthood, she had reached that terrifying, soul-crushing milestone where all the wealth, luxury, and international fame in existence felt utterly hollow and meaningless, leaving her standing alone in front of a mirror with zero hope for tomorrow and a pervasive numbness that felt like a slow death. That exact emotional wasteland is painfully familiar to anyone watching this right now. It is the exact place you find yourself standing when a brutal betrayal hits you out of nowhere, when a career you poured your soul into collapses overnight, or when you are staring at the wreckage of your life whispering that you are completely finished. But the monumental, life-altering lesson Angelina extracted from those suffocating, black hole days is this: immense pain and devastating suffering will either completely obliterate you or forge you into something bulletproof, and the terrifying part is that the choice belongs entirely to you. You are the one who decides whether to let the agony crush your bones into dust or harness it as raw, unadulterated rocket fuel to blast past the obstacles holding you captive. She finally woke up to the undeniable realization that waiting around for a mythical external savior to swoop in and rescue you from your own misery is nothing more than a pathetic waste of precious time, because the only real, breathing savior you will ever find is the reflection staring back at you in the mirror, even if those hands are violently shaking and that heart is bleeding from 1,000 cuts. Now, let's fast forward to the moment she made the radical, paradigm-shifting decision to stop whining, stop playing the victim to a cruel destiny, and violently grab the steering wheel of her own existence with both hands, stepping directly into a psychological phenomenon known in advanced behavioral science as the deliberate redirection of focus. She looked around and realized that wallowing in her own localized misery, drowning in self-pity, and crying over spilled milk was only serving to sink her deeper and deeper into a bottomless quagmire of depression. So what did she do? She packed her bags and physically thrust herself straight into the heart zones of the planet's most terrifying, bleeding crises, stepping foot into active war zones, desolate refugee camps, and forgotten corners of the earth where innocent children were literally perishing from starvation and freezing temperatures. Now, your logical brain is probably screaming right now, what on earth does helping refugees in a war-torn country have to do with fixing my broken personal life and my financial struggles? The profound answer lies deep within human neurology. The exact moment you violently yank yourself out of the suffocating cocoon of self-obsession, localized entitlement, and micro-focused personal problems, and genuinely bear witness to the raw, visceral suffering of the broader human race, the scale of your own internal problems fundamentally shifts and shrinks inside your mind. The human brain is biologically engineered to put personal stress, anxiety, and trivial depression on the back burner the second it locks onto a massive, noble, and deeply human mission to serve others. When Angelina stood face to face inside those bleak camps with a mother who had literally lost every single member of her family to a brutal war, yet still possessed a flickering, defiant spark of hope for tomorrow in her tear-stained eyes, she experienced an earth-shattering paradigm shift regarding the actual limits of human endurance. She realized with chilling clarity that human beings possess an ocean of inner strength so unfathomably vast that they usually die without ever discovering even 10% of it. The profound, life-altering lesson encoded here is simple yet devastatingly effective. The next time your life feels impossibly heavy, when psychological pressures are actively trying to choke the life out of you, stop isolating yourself in a dark room hugging your knees in despair. Instead, stand up. Step outside yourself, and untie a knot in someone else's life. This is not some naive, feel-good charitable advice. This is the single most aggressive and potent psychological hacking tool in existence for saving your own collapsing soul, because by fighting to lift others out of the dark, you accidentally sew up and heal the ragged tears in your own broken spirit. Yet, the narrative doesn't stop there, because we need to dissect another hidden, terrifying layer of how this woman makes life-altering decisions. A framework you will never find in a generic business textbook or a superficial self-help seminar. Throughout her entire existence, Angelina has routinely chosen paths where 100% of the surrounding peanut gallery screamed at the top of their lungs that she had completely lost her mind and was committing social suicide. From stepping up as a young woman to shoulder the crushing weight of a United Nations goodwill ambassador in the most dangerous territories on Earth, to deliberately accepting polarizing, psychologically warped acting roles, to making intensely vulnerable, shocking public disclosures about radical preventative surgeries that sent global shockwaves through international media, she never once flinched. She simply did not care what the crowd thought, how they judged her, or whether she fit into their comfortable little boxes. The vast majority of human beings quietly squander their entire lives, slowly bleeding their potential to death, simply because they are paralyzed by a pathological addiction to what other people think, whisper, or expect of them. That toxic, cage-like fear of social judgment is the single greatest invisible prison holding humanity back from true greatness. Angelina Jolie's entire existence acts as a living, breathing manifesto teaching us that true courage is standing dead center in the howling eye of a hurricane while everyone else is running for their lives. In countless interviews, she has explicitly stated that she has never once regretted her most brutal, high-risk decisions, even the ones that ended in catastrophic failure, because she firmly believed that the scars, wisdom, and raw education harvested from a massive, daring failure are worth 1,000 lifetimes of safe, stagnant existence haunted by the slow poison of the phrase, "What if I had tried?" So look yourself in the mirror right now and ask the hard, unforgiving question. How many times this year alone have you stepped backward, killed your own ambitions, and buried your truest desires purely out of terror of what the neighbors, your family, or random internet strangers might say? Exactly how much longer are you going to let the superficial opinions of sheep dictate the trajectory of a lion's life? Let's hit the brakes right here. Pull back the curtain, and confront a profoundly uncomfortable, brutal truth that very few people have the raw courage to articulate to your face. Our culture is drowning in a toxic, infantilizing delusion that true success means living a completely sterile, frictionless life devoid of friction, problems, obstacles, or pain, where everything unfolds precisely according to a neat little color-coded spreadsheet. But the raw, unfiltered truth, both devastating and breathtakingly beautiful, is that genuine, permanent psychological growth is exclusively forged right on the razor-thin, bloodied edge of crisis, chaos, and overwhelming adversity. Look at Angelina Jolie's reality. A global icon, a mother navigating the high-stakes pressure of severe health battles, high-profile multi-million-dollar legal and media firestorms, raising a massive multicultural family across borders, and shouldering international humanitarian crises that would cause an ordinary human being to completely short-circuit. If she had chosen to curl up into a fetal position and weep the very first time she was knocked flat on her back by fate, she wouldn't even be a footnote in history today. The ironclad secret behind her unbreakable momentum boils down to three simple, unyielding words: absolute personal accountability. She never, not even for a microsecond, leaned into the pathetic comfort of playing the professional victim. She never excused her worst moments by pointing a trembling finger at her traumatic childhood, her failed marriages, or the ruthless paparazzi circling her like vultures. She stood tall and swallowed 100% of the responsibility for every single open door, every catastrophic miscalculation, every bleeding wound, and every monumental victory. As long as you continue to hunt down external scapegoats for your current financial stagnation, your toxic relationship patterns, your career dead ends, and your chronic mental exhaustion, you are actively choosing to live inside a delusional psychosis. The exact millisecond you look your own reflection in the eyes and own every single messy, broken piece of your reality by saying, "I am the architect of this mess, and I am the only one who has the power to tear it down and rebuild it," is the exact second raw, untamed power floods back into your veins. Now, let's bridge this entire philosophical roadmap directly into a concrete, tactical battle plan that you can deploy in your own real life starting this exact second, today, right now. It fundamentally does not matter where you currently stand on the battlefield of your existence. Perhaps your career just hit a brick wall, your long-term romantic relationship just imploded into ash, your bank account is screaming empty, or you are wandering through an existential fog with zero clue what tomorrow holds. The definitive, ultimate takeaway from Angelina Jolie's philosophy is that human beings are fundamentally identical to raw clay. Until you are slammed down onto the workbench and subjected to intense, agonizing, bone-crushing pressure, the magnificent masterpiece locked inside you can never be sculpted. Every single time life straps you to the wheel and grinds you down through crushing adversity, it is aggressively molding and hardening your structure for a much heavier, far more magnificent stage of your evolution. So stop crying over the fact that the road ahead looks brutal and unforgiving. Shift your entire internal radar away from the size of the storm and lock your laser focus onto the expansion of your own internal capacity. Starting tomorrow morning, the microsecond your eyes snap open, instead of lazily sliding into your default habit of mentally cataloging every single problem, debt, and grievance in your life while sighing in self-pity, grab a physical notebook and write down this command. What elements of this day are strictly within my direct control, and what is the single, highest leverage micro-action I can execute right now to drag my life forward? This microscopic adjustment in your perceptual geometry, this absolute abandonment of the victim mindset paired with the fierce adoption of total personal agency, is the master key to effortlessly gliding through the darkest, most claustrophobic tunnels life can construct. Never forget this. You were never meant to be a helpless casualty tossed around as a background extra in someone else's epic. You are the undisputed author, director, and protagonist of your own cinematic masterpiece. So play your role with such raw, ferocious intensity that when the final curtain drops, you stand in absolute awe of the warrior you forced yourself to become. Your life, your potential, and your future are infinitely too valuable to surrender to mediocrity, so reject defeat, weaponize your pain, and let the grinding pressure of this world forge you into an unbreakable diamond rather than leaving behind a pile of forgotten ash.